Hey everyone, Conquest here. I'm going to do something a little different today and give you a brief overview of Project Wingman, a new game at the time of the publishing of this video. It is, for all intents and purposes, very similar to the Ace Combat games in many regards, including graphics, physics, and gameplay. It can be purchased on the Steam store and currently has two game modes, Campaign and Conquest. Similar to Ace Combat, you can unlock many different planes to play in Campaign, and separately you can do the same in Conquest mode, albeit with apparently fewer planes to choose from. This game is also currently only available on Windows, but I see it easily spreading to consoles in the future based on how well it is doing currently in Steam with both reviews and sales. Before I go over gameplay, let's talk about the specs for this game real quick. This game's file download size is only 13.76 gigabytes. It also has a relatively light recommended spec, GTX 1070 Ti or better, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 16 gigs of storage, so it's fairly manageable. Most gaming rigs built within the last 4 or 5 years should be able to handle this game perfectly well at max or near max settings. Even if you have an older rig, minimum settings are fairly easy. It's only asking for a 660 Ti or the equivalent for a graphics card, which itself only came out in 2012. That said, for the specs required, this game's graphics are surprisingly great given the light load it demands. It is definitely very arcadey in how it looks, but still very pretty, and you can tell how much work was put into plane design. Not only that, but it has a great price of only $25 at current. Just as a note though, this game really heats up my graphics card, which is a GTX 2070 at max settings, and it heats it up more than most games. This game feels like it is very intensive on my graphics card despite having relatively low requirements. I'm no game dev, but this may speak to optimization issues, but thus far, with the exception of hot graphics cards, I have had zero issues with frame rates, graphics, and zero crashes. Really, it's just been running great. As far as gameplay is concerned, as previously mentioned, it functions very similarly to Ace Combat. If you are like me and you play a lot of War Thunder, this game is far more arcadey than Arcade Air Mode in War Thunder. That's not a bad thing though, because this game, again like Ace Combat, really excels in how ridiculous it can be. You can have upwards of 100 missiles, can fire several at a time from some planes, have dozens of bombs, and single-handedly have to take out dozens of planes, of which oftentimes take numerous direct missile hits to take down. The physics in this game are a bit unrealistic, but not so much where the game is absurd. Again, it all fits the arcade nature of this game very well. In many ways, it is a tribute to the well-loved Ace Combat series. To put it succinctly, it's almost like an Ace Combat fan decided to make an Ace Combat game. In fact, if it didn't have the name Project Wingman, you could probably mistake it for either the next entry in the Ace Combat series or as a spin-off. This is not at all a bad thing, as this game was started as a Kickstarter campaign, and for $25 you can have Ace Combat quality, which is astounding. In addition, controls are very easy. Coming from playing mostly War Thunder arcade and realistic matches, I find it easiest to be in third person Project Wingman and to have mouse controls, rather than rely solely on WASD. This game functions really well with a mouse and keyboard, and I suspect that it is even better with a flight stick. You can tell that from top to bottom, this game was lovingly made by people who love games involving aircraft, and as such, definitely takes controls seriously, as those are absolutely necessary to get right in a game like this. And for this game's two game modes, I'll start with Campaign. To keep the reference going, if you've ever played Ace Combat, it is very similar to that in many regards. It's set on an alternate history Earth with evil people controlling super weapons that can only be stopped with insane piloting and dozens of missiles. But that being that, beyond the story, the campaign has dozens of planes, of which some are unique and or secret and only available in Campaign, such as the Avro Arrow. Yes, the plane everyone has been wanting to be produced in real life is coming to your house so you can fly it in your computer. Aside from that, after a few missions and a few hours of campaign time, I can say that it is well written and works well for the game that it is. My only one complaint is that the voice dialogue is often too quiet in the sound mix and debriefings. Otherwise, in a game all about dogfights, the story actually holds up fairly well. For Conquest mode, it is actually fairly similar to a type of story mode, except without the dialogue and the debriefings. You can choose where you want to attack and where to send your forces, so long as they're adjacent to territories you've already conquered. In some ways, it's kind of like Ace Combat combined with Risk. Much like in campaign, you are given currency after each mission, and you can decide which planes you want to buy and fly. You can also choose to buy allies and bonuses to help out in each mission that you fly. These stick around through missions. But that said, it unfortunately does not have multiplayer, at least not yet. Still, this game has plenty to offer and is an awesome game to have fun that won't take up too much time, being that missions are 10 to 20 minutes each, but will have tons of action that will keep you engrossed in the gameplay as you constantly dodge missiles and enemy airship attacks. Now, that said, as a War Thunder player and somebody who's played actually quite a few Ace Combat games, should you buy this game? Well, I'll say probably yes. For only $25, you're getting a very well fleshed out game, something obviously made with love. And again, if you're a War Thunder player or somebody who plays Ace Combat, this game is probably right up your alley. It's just an awesome game to have, and again, for that price, you can't beat it. But either way, this is Tankenstein signing out for the night. Thanks so much for watching my video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. But again, that being said, I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.